Hey everyone, it's Tango Oscar Mike. This past weekend, me and the family went for our first trip in our new adventure van that I like to call the Yeti. And we had a great trip. We stayed at two Harvest Host locations. The first one was Brewdog Brewery and Tap House near Columbus. We got there late Friday afternoon. Was able to get checked in as a Harvest Host site, park the van, get set up, and then go have some dinner, get some drinks, and basically have a good time. We've stayed here several times before. We've actually stayed in the hotel because they do allow dogs in their hotels, in the hotel there. So we have stayed there before. There's a dog park on site, and there's this other really nice brewery down the road called Loose Rail. It's about a mile walk from Brewdog, so it's a nice walk, and they have a great selection of bourbon there as well. So we went down there and hung out there for a little bit. It was pretty busy though. So then we went back to Brewdog, let the dogs run around in the dog park a little bit, and by then it was starting to get dark, and we headed to the van and stayed there. Everything was cool. And then the next morning we got up super early and headed to Hocking Hills State Park to do some hiking. And I had planned out a route. This is the Devil's Bathtub that everybody talks about. And we planned out a route that took us out to Cedar Falls and back. And the first part of this route is really rugged. And it took us a long time. You're scrambling over rocks. There were times that I had to grab the dogs and by their harnesses and kind of hoist them up over a rock ledge or something to keep going. And it was pretty strenuous. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty good. And once you get away from all the popular areas and get out, there's not a lot of people on the trails. You'll run past a few people, but not a lot. But we made it out to Cedar Falls, and you'll see that in the photos. And then we took another trail back, and the trail back is the Gorge Overlook, and it's a fire road. So that part of the trip goes along really fast. This was Hali's first trip, really big trip, and first hiking adventure. And she did really good. She followed Augie's lead and pretty much just followed him and followed me, and was good. She did try to pulling a little bit. We had to, it's our first time really being on the leash for a long period of time as well. So, but it was a good adventure. We did get to test out all the systems in the van during this trip. We got to test out the air conditioning, the heater, because Sunday morning we got up and it was 41 degrees in the van. I had got up a little bit earlier. I don't know, it was like 2 o'clock or something like that, to turn on the heater in the van, light the propane heater, and get the van warmed up because it was pretty chilly. We used the induction cooktop and the air fryer portion of the microwave. We've already used the microwave for other stuff, but I got to make egg and cheese breakfast sandwiches, which was pretty cool, being able to cook everything in the van. We did take showers in the van, and it's tough. Even though I can stand up in the shower, it's a tight area. There's not a lot of room, so you're constantly bumping the walls, and it's rough. But the van handles really well on the roads. It cruises right along at 70 miles an hour. The wind does catch it quite a bit. So it does kind of rock you back and forth as you're on the highway. And if you get behind a tractor trailer, the turbulence of a tractor trailer, at 70 miles an hour, it will shimmy the van back and forth pretty violently, and it's actually a little nauseating. So I avoid that at all costs. But I did get hit by a couple of crosswinds that were pretty tough. At this part of the hike, we are out away from all the crowds. Rarely did we see anybody at this point, and just kept going. Like I said, this is the end of the trail, the halfway point. This is Cedar Falls. So after we hung out here, you can see the crowds are already starting to build. we turned around and headed back. And when we got back, the parking lot at Hocking Hills was overloaded. There were people everywhere. It's the crowdest I have ever seen it. So I was going to do a Parks on the Air activation, but honestly, there was no place to set up an antenna or do anything. And the weather was changing. We could tell it. There were reports that it was going to rain. So we just headed to our next location, which was another brewery, Brewery 33. That was another Harvest Host, and we stayed there for the night. This is the lake on the Gorge Trail on our way back. This is the end of the trail. As you can see, my wife's shirt has a little bit of sweat on it because we were hiking pretty fast on the way back as well. I wore a backpack and carried all the water for everybody. Didn't quite carry enough. So this is the trail. If you look at the blue on there, that's where we were going slow, and then the green is the hike back, which is obviously we were going much faster. So, but good trip overall. Really can't complain. It rained all afternoon on Sunday. Like I said, it got cold. We ended up back in the van about 4 o'clock. We got comfortable, watched a movie, had some snacks, hung out, and then we got up Sunday morning and decided it was, like I said, it was 41 degrees outside, and we just decided to, truck on back home. It was a good first outing for the van. If the weather would have been nicer, we would have hung around and maybe made some more stops on the way home. But it was pretty chilly, and I didn't take any pants. I had shorts, but we really didn't prepare enough for the weather. At least I didn't, and we didn't want to stop anywhere with the dogs. But had a great trip, and the van is working fantastic. And Harvest Host is a great program. But I hope you enjoyed the video. This is Tango Oscar Mike saying 73. Take care.